All right, welcome back everyone to another video. Today we're going to be learning about long multiplication. We're going to be doing 4 digits times 1 digit, 4 digits times 2 digits, and we're going to get through the process. We're going to carry over some numbers and it's going to be quite straightforward. So you have nothing to worry about. Let's get started. So we're going to start with multiplying. We have 2,435 times 4. So the first two numbers we're going to multiply are going to be, well, the 4 is going to be the main number we're multiplying into these numbers, right? So due to that, we're going to go from the right to the left. So first we're going to do 4 times 5. Now what is 4 times 5? 4 times 5 is going to give us 20, right? 4 times 5 is 20. So we're going to write, just so we can see our work, 4 times 5 equals 20. All right, there we are. And because of that, we're going to write the second digit. So the second digit of our answer is going to be written under the 4. Okay? The second digit only. And the first digit of our answer is going to be put on top of the 3. All right? And that is pretty much what you need to remember. The second digit is written under the line if you need to carry over. And the first digit is going to be written onto the next number that you're working with, the next digit in the top number. So we got 20, so we put a 0, carried over the 2. Now we go 4 times 3 is next. 4 times 3. What is 4 times 3? It's 12, right? So we're going to add the 2 from here though, right? So again, we can write it for our next digits. 4 times 3, okay? That gives us 12. But we have to add that 2. We have to add that 2 that we carried over earlier. So we're going to add it right here. We're going to add that 2. And that's going to give us 14. Okay? That's going to give us 14. So we're going to, again, what do we do? We're going to put the second digit, the 4, under the 3 over here. The 4 goes under the 3. And the 1 is going to go on top of the 4. Right there. All right, so far so good. We're halfway done. Next, what do? What are we multiplying? If you said 4 times 4, you are correct. We're multiplying 4 times 4. So let's do that. 4 times 4. Let's multiply that. That's going to give us what? 16. And what number do we have on top of the 4? Well, the 1. So we got to add that 1. We got to add it. So we're going to add that 1. And that's going to give us 17, right? So our next number is 17. Again, which number do we put under the 4? Which digit, the first or the second? If you said the second digit, you are correct. We put the second digit, the 7, under the 4, and we carry over the 1 on top of the 2. Last part of the question. What do we multiply next? Well, we do 4 times 2. We do 4 times 2. And that gives us, what does that give us? 4 times 2 is 8, right? So we're going to write that down. 4 times 2 equals 8. And then we add the 1 plus the 1 there. And that's going to give us a 9. And that is it. We put the 9 right next to it. And that gives us the final answer. And our final answer is 9,740. All right. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, here we go with the next question. We have 3,701 times 6. So again, we're going to work with the 6. It's going to be multiplied by each number here. So first we do 6 times 1, right? We get just a single digit, which is a 6. So we don't have to carry over anything. We just keep the 6 there. We don't have to worry about carrying over the first or second digit. The number is only 1 digit. Now, let's do the next part. 6 times 0, right? 6 times 0. What is 6 times 0? Well, if you said 0, that's right. So let's write a 0 there. Nothing to carry over again. So let's move on. Next number, 7. We're multiplying the 6 by the 7. What is 6 times 7? Okay. Well, if you said 42, you were correct. Let's write that down, by the way. So we know for our carryover numbers, our double-digit numbers, we should always keep that in mind. We're going to write 42. Okay, so what number do we write under the 7? Which digit? 4 or the 2? The 2, right? So we write the 2 under the 7, and what do we do with the 4? we carry it over. We carry it over right here on top of the 3. And now we're on the last step. 6 times 3. Well, what is 6 times 3? What is 6 times 3 here? That gives us 18, right? 18. But don't forget, there's a 4 on top of it. So we got to add that 4. We have to add that 4. And that's going to give us 22. So that is it. So there we go. So we're going to write a 22. We are on the last number, right? When we reach the last number, the last digit, we don't have to actually worry about carrying over anything. We just write the number all together. So in this case, it's going to be 22. And altogether, this big number here equals 22,206. And that's the final answer for that one. Okay, moving on to the next question. It's going to be a little more challenging. All right, here we go with the next question. So we have 4,722 times 35. Now, most of the question is going to remain the same. There's just more steps to it. All right, it's going to be relatively the same of what you just learned with the previous ones. So keep that in mind as we go along. We're going to work with the 5 first. Okay, we're going to work with the 5 because the digit on the very right. As you notice, we always start on the right and go to the left. So first we do 5 times 2. We write 5 times 2. 5 times 2. That's going to give us a 10. So we write the second digit, which is the 0, down here, and carry over the 1. 5 times 2, again, is going to give us 10. So we write, but then plus 1 is going to give us 11. So 5 times 2 for the second one is going to give us 10. But then plus the 1, it's going to give us 11. So we're going to write a 1, right? And then carry over the 1. Now we have 5 times 7. That's going to give us, what is that going to give us? All right, 5 times 7, right? That's 35. And then we have that 1 sitting on top. So 35 first, and then we add that 1, the remainder of what we had. And that's going to, the carryover number, and that's going to give us 36. All right, so now we're going to write the 6, if you guessed 6, good job, under the 7, and we're going to put a 3 on top of the 4. And now we're going to do 5 times 4. All right, what does that give us? 20. All right, and then plus the 3, which we carried over, and that's going to give us 23. So we've arrived at the last digit of this question, right? The last digit for the first part of the question. So we can write 23 all together. And that's that. And we are done with the first number. So we can get rid of all of this. We're done with the 5. All right, so that's all done. And we can move on. So we can actually cross off the 5 from this question. And we can go and start the next part. So the next number we're working with is going to be the 3. Before we work with the 3 though, this is a very, very important step. So do not forget this. Before we work with the 3, we need to put a 0 under the number that we just finished, okay? You just have to put it there before you even start working with it. The 0 is just going to be there. Every time you switch to one number on the left, so we finished with the 5, we're going to the 3, you need to put a 0 under the answer, the most right digit of the answer. You got to put a 0 under it. And then we get started. So do not forget to do that when you have 2 digits to multiply. All right. So this is easier because we only have a 3, right? 3 times 2 is 6. So no 2 digits. We just write the 6. Move on. Then we have 3 times 2 again. Guess what? That's 6 again. Then we have 3 times 7. All right. Let's write this down. It's a 2-digit answer. So let's practice this more. Equals 21. So what do we write under the 7, or in this case, the 3, because we moved everything over 1 to the left? We're going to write the 1. We're going to write the 1. And we're going to carry over the 2. And then 3 times 4 is 12. So let's write that down. 3 times 4 equals 12. And then plus the 2, what is that going to give us? 14. 14. All right, so you see how this digit right here, this number, ended up being a little bit more over to the left by 1 digit. because we started over. But that's how long multiplication works when you have 2 digits at least to multiply as your bottom number. And now here comes the last part. We add all these up. So 0, 7, 6 plus 6 is 12, so let's put a 2 there, carry over the 1. All these together, 1, 3, 1 is 5. Then 2 plus 4 is 6. And then the 1 plus, well, nothing, right? We get a 1. It just remains the same. We get a pretty big number here, 165,270. And that is our final answer. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helped you. I know this was a lot to process. Try to review the video, look at it over again, see the steps. If you got the answers correct already, very good job. Keep it up. Good luck in your studies. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you in the next one. Keep learning. Bye.